The following is a fan-based criticism review. Final Fantasy, Disney, and Kingdom Hearts are all owned by Square Enix and Disney Interactive Studios. Please support the official games. Remember when Kingdom Hearts was coherent? Once upon a time, in a land far, far away, amateur video game director Tetsuya Nomura defied expectation by combining two widely divergent worlds, one known for its somewhat bleak undertones and epic blade battles, another for its whimsical charm, into a single glorious hodgepodge of nostalgia. This joint partnership between Disney Interactive Studios and Squaresoft was called Kingdom Hearts, a game that spanned massive controversy upon announcement and record-breaking results upon release. Proving that Winnie the Pooh can stand side by side with blade-wielding mofos and epic brouhahas, memory of its conception marks Kingdom Hearts as almost a fairy tale unto itself. Sporting an harmonious blend of Disney and Square motifs, odd yet effective character pairings, a deep touching story, and more nostalgia than you could shake a gunblade at, the game offered a chance to witness childhood memories recontextualized into a template of unforeseen depth and maturity. And, lo and behold, seeing Donald Duck smashing Goofy in the face with Thundaga and going toe-to-toe with Cloud Strife was pretty damn cool. Who knew? Of course, being no exception to the law of success, Kingdom Hearts eventually spawned sequels. And following the golden rule that success begets loss of quality, it wasn't long before the simplicity and charm of Disney was crushed under the weight of convoluted, brooding storytelling more akin to Square's modus operandi. As the series progressed and more crazy contradictions, ambiguities, holes, retcons, rules rewritten over and over, and just general making crap up as it goes along storytelling became apparent, the plot quickly changed from the simplicity of a boy lost from his home battling an evil fallen from grace king to this shit. Of course, blame can be placed squarely on Nomura's set of brilliantly written ragtag Final Fantasy rejects known as Organization 13. I mean, they have no emotions but are emotionally driven to obtain emotion? What the And lo and behold, like a charming prince who boldly rescues the beloved Disney princess from the innards of an evil castle, comes Kingdom Hearts, Birth by Sleep, here to rescue us game players from the clutches of convoluted crap. Resetting the true start of the Kingdom Hearts mythology from Sora's endowment of the keyblade in the first game to 10 years prior, Terra, Ven, and Aqua train under the helm of Kingdom Hearts' first badass samurai mofo, embarking on the first cohesive Kingdom Hearts tale since the first. And whether or not you accept the newfound storyline reason for the incomprehensible nature of the mythology, that 10 years before the main crap happened, this crap happened, or whether or not you accept the reality reason, Birth by Sleep achieves all of its redemptive purposes, and then some. To start with, the game's only real significant failing is that, despite having a multitude of nagging questions answered, some of the story's deepest mysteries can only be unlocked via the secret ending, which, oddly enough, is easiest when suffering through the challenge of critical mode. Though considering the incredible amount of depth and potential the battle system possesses, one in which any action RPG fan, Disney fan or not, will want to make full use of, from command decks to D-links, the addition of this extra difficulty level is highly appropriate. There exists an endless variety of choices and strategy, from a rich myriad of different physical and magic-based command deck moves, to being able to D-link to other characters' moves, such as Maleficent's and Zack's, to a shotlock system where you literally rip past a horde of enemies, all of which are backed up by rich, fluid, easy-to-handle battle mechanics appropriate for all ages. Birth by Sleep also features an abundance of fun, addictive minigames, from racing to some Disney-themed Elite Beat agents to fruit-themed volleyball, and some pain-in-the-butt extra bosses, including the mysterious figure, lingering sentiment, and the PSP camera. But at the end of the day, by God that battle system, by God that battle system. For those driven suicidal by Chain's frustration, don't let the word deck fool you. In spite of some issues involving the lock-on, Birth by Sleep's battle system can be best described as half Crisis Core on steroids and half Chain of Memories done right. The Birth by Sleep fable starts in the mysterious land of Departure, where three Blade apprentices, one Shinra lookalike Terra, one generously proportioned Aqua, and one all-too-familiar-looking Ventus, stand before one deemed black belt of the art of Keyblade. Chaos ensues when this mystery bald man goes missing, As demon-like beings known as the Unversed plague familiar Disney territory, connections to past and future are revealed, as well as diabolical intentions from the aptly named Master Xehanort. The storytelling spirit of Birth by Sleep is akin to that of Kingdom Hearts 1 structure, where Disney fables are seamlessly intertwined into the square-written mythology, and even though small moments of filler serve to add to humor or some thematic purpose, fans will be pleasantly surprised that Maleficent has risen from the depths of unthreatening fodder, and that the dark yet light-hearted fairy tale feel of the original is back. In spite of this, Birth by Sleep doesn't quite fully capture the spirit of the original per se. Think of it as the most well-rounded of the Kingdom Hearts games, achieving both the charm, humor, and innocence of the original and the conceptual complexity of Kingdom Hearts 2, sans its pretentious, convoluted execution. The three interconnected tales between the trio of heroes is the most daring, ambitious storytelling device of any Kingdom Hearts game yet, and the central mythology that ties into the after-effects of a past war that's delved into more deeply as you progress between the three of them is compelling without being pretentious. As the player goes through one segment, questions are placed to create a sense of anticipation and mystery that helps accentuate the next. In spite of this, mystery and ambiguity is embedded subtly, so that each segment can stand on their own without becoming confusing and messy. The story holds plenty of carefully placed "Dear God, I get it" moments as you toggle through the three tales, and the game becomes all the more fun for it. Although at times you can never nag yourself with the suspicion that the three interconnected tales could have been intertwined in a little bit of a more fascinating way, seeing the Disney fables grow and evolve from the three different perspectives was pretty damn cool. And whilst the first game brought in the unique flavor of being able to engage in epic Square-style battle with Disney villains, Birth by Sleep's three-narrative structure brings this compelling feature back, sans the predictability. Disappointment lies in the fact there's merely one lone Final Fantasy cameo, and the story involving him is far too derivative of Clouds and Aurons. And whilst I commend the Kingdom Hearts mythology for answering the age-old question, what if Mickey Mouse were a Final Fantasy character? Well, for those who didn't like Nomura's interpretation of some of the FF cameos in the past, you won't like the answer to that reverse question, believe me. A small hint of disappointment also stems from how the three-narrative structure somewhat cripples the Disney license. Because each story is smaller, the amount of time spent in each Disney world is essentially quickly in and quickly out, and there's simply not enough time to absorb the nostalgic atmosphere fully. As a result, the pacing can feel a little rushed and clunky. Each individual segment is reminiscent of typical KH fare. Original characters are introduced, the story event happens justifying toggling through Disney worlds, and a lighthearted romp through nostalgia slowly grows into a darker Square-style story near the end, escalating to a climax of crazy twists and epic betrayals. And typical to Kingdom Hearts, flawed chunks of storytelling such as filler, friendship, and repetitive jargon-laden dialogue are smothered by memories of effective build-up and climax. It might be more effective here than ever, as each story is shorter, and each climax extremely memorable. But this isn't to say each segment is perfect. Far from it, actually. Terra's story at times feels too much like a bland parallel to Riku's descent in the dark side in KH1, and relies too much on him being controlled like a sock puppet to really click. And whilst Aqua's plot is effective in the sense that she offers the emotional glue to tie together Terra's and Ven's story and make all those saccharine friendship speeches seem a little less cheesy, her tale is definitely the slowest start. However, thanks to an interesting central mythology, effective villains, well-presented atmosphere, and ambitious storytelling device, despite the failure of each individual segment to hold their own, thankfully, the story is more than the sum of its parts. Players will hack and slash their way through three original worlds known as the Land of Departure, Radiant Garden, and the Keyblade Graveyard, and worlds based on Disney fare, Lilo and Stitch, Hercules, Snow White, Cinderella, and Peter Pan, all of which build a story that accumulate to the finale contained within a dark, doomy last level. Although the majority of the levels aren't quite as twisted and maliform as Kingdom Hearts 1 and Chain, they can feel quite simple and empty at times. In spite of this, nostalgia is replicated with seamless authenticity by Square's technical prowess. And we never feel like we're walking through some cheap rendition of, say, Enchanted Castle, but the real thing we saw in our childhood. Of course, this has been a hallmark of the series from the very beginning, so it need not be said here. What need be said is that childhood memories are revived into a whole new zenith of cinematography on the PSP. Cutscenes are bigger and better than ever, and the presentation is amazing. Though in this case, overall amazing doesn't quite equate to flawless. Although the opening is visually captivating, the use of simple and clean feels repetitive, tacky, and completely lazy. Of course, you can't appreciate this laziness until the words, "Please don't go," play over a 15-year-old getting his head crushed. Or simple and clean is the way you make me feel tonight over a scene that vaguely implies Terra and Aqua getting laid in a hologram. This same flaw is indicative throughout, as the revival of old KH tunes makes part of the game feel rather stale, and although the final level attempts to live up to the same sense of hellish finality as Kingdom Hearts 1 End of the World, it doesn't quite capture its sense of dark and doom. Vocal talents include Jason Doering in a voice portrayal that toggles between a low-tone brooding growl akin to Christian Bale's Batman and a high-pitched squeak akin to someone not giving a damn, a wooden, emotionless OC bimbo known as Willa Holland, and a disappointingly decent Jesse McCartney. Flaws in the main vocals are compensated for by a sinister voice portrayal by Haley Joel Osment and Mark Hamill's Master Eriquaz, who's essentially Joker if he were the good guy, and that is a compliment. And even though Leonard Nimoy as Master Xehanort isn't quite as menacing and evil as one would expect, he's hammering in a way you really get a sense he really enjoyed the role, and you kind of enjoy it with him. And of course there's James Woods. Enough said. Since it first came out, Kingdom Hearts has stood as a series best not judged by its cover. With Birth by Sleep, this old axiom is truer than ever. Sporting dense content in its infinitely exploitable battle system, large myriad of minigames and extras, and extensive story, a massive effort ensures this game is accessible to all ages. Think of its whimsical exterior and horde of Disney characters as something to complement its juxtaposing undertone, an opportunity to visit childhood memories whilst enjoying a game that's compelling, well told, and well made in its own right. For those who were pulled into the series from the very beginning, let my long-winded review be summed up in 6 words. The magic is back, and I wouldn't have it any other way.